Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Kyle Scott. When you pick up your guitar and you look at the space from here to here, are you afraid? Because for many people, this is a mysterious land, the place that must not be named, the land of shadows. But if you can get in here, if you can make this your neighborhood, so much power is unlocked as a guitar player. So today, I'm going to show you how to unlock this part of the neighborhood so that you don't only feel safe here, but you feel safe walking down the streets. Sun is shining and birds are chirping when you're all the way up here in the 10th, 11th, 12th frets. I have 5 steps for you. You know how I like my steps. And step 1 is the big landmarks step. This is the most important and the easiest as well. It's just understanding a process, a formula to unlock things that are common throughout the whole neck. And mainly this starts with, well, first you got to know your string names. You've got E, A, D, G, B, and E. I'm assuming you probably know those. If you don't, you're welcome. This is part of the big landmarks trick. Memorizing the dots, okay? The dots are really helpful, especially for the E and A strings, because then you can use the octave trick from there. But if you can memorize on the E string, if you can start with G, then A, and B, and C sharp, and E. Now, not all guitars have 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12 dots. So I've seen some that have no dots, or some that only have them on the 3rd and 5th frets, or only on the 12th fret. Okay, so this might not be pertinent to everyone watching, but using the dots on your guitar as landmarks is a great way to sort of divide up the neck into chunks. So G, A, B, C sharp. If we do it with the A string and memorize, okay, this is A, open A. Then we've got C, D, E, F sharp, and A. All right, I almost forgot my F sharp. And A. Okay, once we have those landmarks, well, it's easy to go, okay, this is D, well, this must be D sharp. Now, this was C sharp, this must be D. Right? You don't necessarily have to memorize every single note if you can use your landmarks to access the notes that are close by. From there, we're going to use what's called the octave rule. When you play an E string on this low E string, if you go over 2 frets, all right, this is 0, 1, 2, and you go down 2 frets, you get another E. Okay, E, E. Isn't that pretty cool? So you just memorized a second note on the guitar. Anywhere from these first 2 strings, if you find a note that you know and you go over 2 and down 2, you hit an octave, which means the same pitch, just twice as high frequency-wise. So E and E. Now let's do another one. Let's use our G chord, right? When we play a G, this note is the root of your chord. This is a G. If we go over 2 and up 2, we get another G. What about the A string? If we go over 2, 1, 2, and up 2, we get another A. You see how you can quickly learn, as long as you know a few notes, you can just use the octave trick, over 2, up 2, to find the next octave. I want to add a little more to the octave rule because I mentioned that it only goes between these 4 strings, right? If you know the E string, you can find the octave on the D string. If you know the A string, you can find the octave on the G string. Well, it does apply to the other strings too, but you've got to go over 3 and up 2. Okay, so if we know that this is a G, well, then we know that this is a G. And then we know that if we go over 3 and up 2, because once we hit the B string, things start to get a little weird. We can go over 3 and up 2, then we get another G. So it's G, over 2, down 2, over 3, down 2, another G. Okay, it works similar from the A string to the E string. If you know this is a C, which we know by our C chord, right? That's the root of the C chord. We know this is a C, so we can go over 2, up 2 for another C. Now we've got to go over 3 and up 2 for the next C. So now all of a sudden, knowing just the octave trick, watch what I can do. I know my G's all over the fretboard. I know G, G, G. I know this is a G, G, this is a G, right? There's G's everywhere, and I just quickly know where the G's are because of the octave trick. So it's very useful. This is the place to start. Figure out, learn the E and A strings, and from there, use the octave rule. Step 2, learn by strings, not trying to attack the whole neck at once. So, an example. Once you know the dots on the low E string, that's G, A, B, C sharp, and E, if you have 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12 like I do. G, A, B, C sharp, and E. Well, from there, I would suggest memorizing the spaces between. So if this is A and this is B, then this is A sharp and B flat. If this is G, this is A, then this is G sharp, aka A flat. So maybe start with the big landmarks, the big dots on just one string, and then from there memorize the spaces between. And then from there you can start using your octave rule again. If you know this is a B flat, you know this is a B flat as well. Okay, and you know this is over 3 down 2, a B flat as well. So start with the landmarks because they're more common and easier to remember, and then find the spaces between them, one string at a time, starting with the big landmarks and then the spaces between. Before I continue, I need to tell you about my ultimate guitar guide. There's a link in the description. It's completely free. It's going to give you some guitar buying recommendations if you're in the market for a new guitar, some new chords you may not have heard, some strumming, my top strumming technique for improving in your strumming, my top finger picking technique for improving in your finger picking. Go check that out, completely free. Okay, let's continue on to step 3. Step 3, once you've started to memorize a lot of the notes, but you're still feeling like it's just, information, is to start applying it to actually playing music. And what I do for that is I use scales, right? Some people will tell you, oh, you don't need scales, just play what sounds good. No, I think that you do need to use scales because they help you understand the board, and also they limber up your fingers, so it's a 2 for 1. So we're going to go play a G major scale here. Right? And when we're doing that, we're going to remember what's our G major scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp. Okay, so if we know the major scale, then we've just played those notes. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Now, don't forget our octave rule. If this is a G, then this is a G. And we can do that same fingering up an octave. Now, when you hit the B string, things get weird. You've got to shift everything down this way, 1 fret. Okay, so watch how I do it. And then it's the same motion. Notice my fingers. And from here, the only difference is instead of playing right? I have to shift this finger up 1 fret. Okay, and it works anywhere. You can do it here too, from this G as well. Look at the fingering. Right? G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And here, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. It's the same fingering, and you're starting to memorize notes. G, A, B, G, A, B. But the bonus with this is starting to create actual licks out of it, because this, let's be honest, nobody's going to listen to that song. But once we start making licks, okay, so if we know, this isn't scales anymore, but if we know that in the key of G we can play, well, we can do that up an octave, right? We went, same shape here, right? We're just starting on the octave. Or you can do with those fingers. Now, if you want to do it up another octave, you can. Now, if you start going between the G and B strings, things get a little weirder. Like if we're in C and we play, and then we go up to here, we have to raise. We can't do, right? I can't do that shape. You have to go up a half step. Right? So just using the octave trick is huge. So much can be opened there, but using the scales and patterns and then creating little riffs to, go from octave to octave is a great way to understand this neighborhood. Step 4, start applying all this to chords and songs. Okay, once you know that this is a G, and this is where it gets a little bit into caged, if you've ever heard of caged. I'm not going to go in depth about it right now, but if you know this is a G, Well, go find your other G and make, all right, I can barely squeeze my fingers in there. Make that G bar chord. And you know this is G and this is G, and you know that the major shape in this string is the E major shape, and the major shape based off the A string is this major shape. So if you know this is G and this is G, you can use those two shapes. Watch, we can do the same thing for an E, right? We know this is E. That's that shape. Well, we know this is E too, so we can use our A shape. Okay, as long as once you start applying into songs, instead of playing happy birthday to you, well, we can go happy birthday to, and think of, okay, where's the D? Here, you just use that shape. And start to memorize by actually using it in song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sally. Happy birthday to you. And how did I do those? Well, I know the E and A strings. Happy birthday, dear. I know this is a B, so I want to play a B7. Dear Sally. E minor, because I know that's an E and I'm using a minor shape. Right. Happy birthday. Using a 2 chord, that's an A right there. So I'm making a minor shape. Birthday. This is a D, I'm going to make a 7 shape, because it's going to be that strong 5-7 pushing us back to the G bar. If you force yourself to play bar chords, it's a great way to learn the fretboard. Now, this is next level. I know a lot of people don't want to play bar chords, and you don't have to, but this is just a step that will help you solidify your understanding of the fretboard by forcing yourself to play more bar chords so that you memorize the E and A strings really well. Step 5, my final step, is to exercise daily this practice of challenging yourself to use notes that are not in your comfortable safe zone down here. So pick a note of the day and find it everywhere on the neck. All right. So you can be like, okay, today I want to find a G flat. Who wants to find a G flat? If you do, right? We know a G, right? So this must be G flat. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go over 3, down 2. Okay, so we have those. We know this is a G because we've been memorizing our A string, right? And if we don't know it, we can use our landmarks. This is an A, so this is an A octave. So down from there will be a G, right? A flat, G, G flat. So this is a G flat. We can use our octave trick. So we have, and we have, those are all G flats, and here too. Pick a note a day, memorize it, use it, make a little riff out of it. And then I don't do a lot of G flats too. Yeah, but the thing is, once you memorize, you really see. I was thinking too hard about what's my next note. It's an A flat. No, I was thinking too hard about that. But once you, the real key is once you know where the note is just understanding the distances between. We're going 1, 2, flat 3. I should have known that that's a good shape. I can do it here. I should do it here. But instead, I thought too hard about what comes after, and I played that, right? I forgot that it's just a shape. So I still have more to learn too. More to practice, more to digest. Another daily exercise you can do is just play a scale saying the notes out loud. So let's go E major, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. And backwards, E, D sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E. Right. And then maybe play it in a different spot, right? You can do all kinds of things, but just doing a little bit every day. The key is time, putting the time in. Having fun with the process and not trying to do it all in one day, but just daily, doing a little something, a little more, improving a little more, a little more, a little more. That's the key. So to recap, here's my 5 steps for learning a fretboard. 1, start with landmarks and octaves. 2, master just one string at a time. Use the landmarks and find the spaces between. 3, use scales and make up little riffs to start connecting the dots. 4, apply these things to chords and songs, especially with bar chords, which you need to memorize the E and the A strings for as close as possible. But force yourself to play the G here and the G here, not just here all the time. Force yourself. And 5, build little daily mini exercises. Pick a note and find it all over the fretboard. Pick a scale and say the note names out loud. Do something every day to help digest and absorb this. And in a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, you won't even remember that one time you didn't know these notes. That's how it was for me. It was just putting the time in day after day, and now it's just like, I can't remember how long ago I learned the notes on the fretboard, but now I know, and it's very useful. I hope this video helped you out a lot. I know there's so much to learn when it comes to guitar, but if you want to learn more, some tips for playing, strumming, finger picking, chords, guitar buying, get my ultimate guitar guide. There's a link in the description, as I said. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment telling me which step you found the most useful for you, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.